In a world of Sky Sports and Gary Neville talking every week about the Glazers, we sometimes fail to understand that football is not all about the Premier League and not all about the top six. On this channel, I do lean into more Premier League side because that is just what people are most interested in. However, at times it is important to look at other leagues or other realms of the English football game. I've done videos on Southend United and Scunthorpe United in two very awful situations, and they are not the only ones, and I'm sure there's many more down below in the football leagues. However, one club that's always paid attention to me, a cauldron, a volcano waiting to explode, is Sheffield Wednesday. Meet Delphine Chansiri. As of 2019, the Chansiri family has got an estimated net worth of $720 million. What is the source of that wealth? The largest producer of canned tuna. I never knew you could make so much money off tuna. As of early 2015, they own a 100% stake in Sheffield Wednesday Football Club, and a lot has happened in that time period, with a lot of naivety and desperation going along the way. With each season that goes by, the gap between the board and the fans get wider and wider, and it has reached breaking point, with one of the most damning and disturbing statements I've ever seen from a club owner. To give context, this is in response of the fans wanting him to leave, and Mr. Chansiri's perspective is if the supporters can stump up the $2 million to help keep the club stable, then only then will they have the right to ask him to go. If 20,000 people gave £100, then it's £2 million, and it'd be clear, so we can finish it. That would cover everything, HMRC and the wages. This is in regards to cash flow issues that can help pay the wages and the staff. He went on further to say, the first thing you need to do is save the club. If we don't pay in 30 days, we have a big issue. If you want to save your club, this is your chance. Do not protest, save your club. If not, we will get a transfer ban over 3 windows. There is a possibility we will go to League 2 or the National League. If you don't want to save your club, then don't call yourselves the owners and me the custodian. If you save your club, then you have the right to ask for me to leave. There is no need to make it complicated. I could leave, no issue. That is the easy way. To break it down in the most simplest form, Mr. Chansiri is holding the club hostage. Childish, juvenile, petulance. These are many words that I can label Mr. Chansiri, as the idea of this angers me. Blaming the fans that thinks that he is not deemed good enough to run the football club, and to say, okay, I won't pay anymore, you pay for it instead. So your question may be, why doesn't he just leave the club? But before we do continue any further, please do smash a like on the video. Let's try to hit 3,000 likes, and comment down below your thoughts on Sheffield Wednesday and the predicament that they found themselves in with their owner. Subscribe if you're new. I do hope to hit 400,000 by the end of the year, and 15% off at mazzoladesigns.co.uk, my own football print design company, for every goal, for every club, for every special moment. Perfect for a Christmas gift for yourself or for your friends or family. Link down below, top of the description. This is after a damning statement at the end of last September, when Mr. Chansiri said that he would no longer inject any money into the club, telling fans to have more respect for owners of clubs and not to be so selfish. And he is not willing to inject money into the club while being treated unfairly by those fans. Sheffield Wednesday are currently bottom of the championship with only one win, which came last weekend against Rotherham, having the worst start to a championship season since its rebrand back in 04-05. They are now on a 9th manager, a German by the name of Danny Rowe. The big talking point is the price of tickets at the games. Sheffield Wednesday has the highest ticket prices in the championship despite being at the bottom. The cheapest adult ticket that you can buy is £27, however the vast majority are in the 30s or even 50s, the most expensive being £59 for a single adult ticket. This has caused a lot of problems between the fan base and the board. How can you expect to have a thriving atmosphere when no one can afford to go? In especially this economy, you can't expect families to be able to cough up £150 consistently to go watch a team at the bottom of the championship. It's just not possible. The owner has been coined by many people as a spoilt child who would rather run the club into the ground then admit that he messed up and sell at a huge loss. The ticket prices are a disgrace for the long-suffering fans at the club, and the fact that he owns the ground under a separate entity is a massive concern. The team, the stadium, the training facilities has been left to rot by the financial mismanagement at the club. They did spend a lot of money quite a while ago and had some proper attempts of trying to get promoted. The most well known is the playoff final back in 2016 where they faced Hull and losing 1-0 in that game, which turns out to be a massive problem for them. Since that final, it's all been downhill. The next year they got back into the playoffs in 4th place, but got knocked out in the semi-finals by what many would consider to be a massive shock in Huddersfield Town, spending a lot of money and a lot of wages on players that had to win it then for the club. In 2016-17, doubling down and spending over 11 million in the championship, which is a big thing to do in that division, and to not go up is nearly touching disastrous. After losing to Huddersfield Town, they came 15th the next year, followed by 12th, 16th mediocrity, and then it all fell down in the COVID year of 2021 when they finished rock bottom. But this is when the worst part comes in. They didn't go down just by the points alone, because if they had their points, then they would have stayed up ahead of Derby County. However, they had a points reduction of 6 points. This is what comes back to previous years. Because of the money they spent in previous years, they bit more than they can chew, and due to that, they got 6 points deducted, meaning that they got relegated because of it. The stadium was also a big part of that as well. The sale of Hillsborough also played a factor. After spending 2 years down in League One, they got promoted in the most extraordinary way possible, losing 4-0 in the first leg to Peterborough to somehow come back and win 5-1 and penalties too, with a 98th minute equaliser by Liam Palmer, and then to concede by your own goal to then score another again in extra time to then win on penalties. By far the most incredible playoff semi-final or playoff game I think I've ever witnessed. But then they went on to win the playoff final against Barnsley in debatably even more insane circumstances. A 123rd minute winner to win 1-0. In Sheffield, they never do things the easy way. It's always chaotic and it always will be. Mr. Chansiri is up there for being one of the worst owners in English football. However, it is a competitive market, as Scunthorpe has had some pretty decent chances too. So when I hear people say that the Glazers are the worst owners in football, please don't take the piss. Chansiri simply is not fit to run a football club. His arrogance means he thinks that he can. However, many things that he's done showcases that he isn't fit to run this club properly. Sacking Carlos Carvajal has been a massive point that people like to bring up. Selling the stadium to himself is also really strange, and the fiasco over Darren Moore is all down to him, yet he blames almost everyone else. He's overpromised to the fans and he's underdelivered, and at this stage he simply needs to sell the club so that someone more sensible can get the chance of doing so. The back and forth between him and the fans of who actually owns the club, who's a custodian, who actually owns it, is childish. This idea that he has to tell the fans to, okay, I'll put no money in, you raise 2 million quid and set up a GoFundMe to save your club, is childish. And I don't know at what stage can the EFL or the FA get involved. Can they get involved? I don't know. Probably not, because sadly that is just how football works. And at this stage, he's got the full capabilities of simply backing out entirely and saying, okay, you win, I'm just going to do nothing then. You own the club, you pay for their wages, and they could be in a situation that they could go into League One or League Two in the National League if they don't get help. The gaslighting is sickening, and the fans deserve better. They really deserve better. I can't imagine my club with an owner like this. The idea of this and having no control makes me feel physically sick. That penalty shootout against Huddersfield Town is when the bubble burst for everything that they went towards. They had to win. Chansiri bet all money on black, and it landed on red. Prior to Rotherham last weekend, they only have scored one goal since the 29th of August. That is 2 entire months where they scored only once. They sacked their previous manager, who was signed in the summer after Darren Moore left, in Cisco Munoz, which turned out to be an awful appointment. So their new manager, Danny Rowe, has a chance to maybe try to reset and to build some trust back again with the squad and the fans. The squad in itself is a poor team at this level in all reality here, with a very old Asian team with not a lot of flair or pace in it, but they've got something. They've got some sort of experience. So the hope is that they can maybe stay a bit more pragmatic, try to stay in games and to use their experience, their physicality to win games in that manner. That includes set pieces, become a direct team and try to win games that way. And that's not just the quality, but also the depth as well. It's a massive issue. Maybe there is still a hangover, as in the past they overspent on key players, leading to the profitability and sustainability breaches and sanctions. So since receiving the punishments from that, they've been a lot more careful on signing players, and only really signed free transfers or loan deals since. They need to hope that their experience can translate to results, and as of right now, it's not looking good. But there is some hope. They have just won a game, so maybe there's some hope for their new manager, Danny Rowe, and I hope for his sake that he can at least make it seem somewhat respectable. They currently still sit, as it stands, 8 points away from safety, but we all know the Championship can be a very unpredictable league. So I guess you can say never, but there's such a long way to go, and with the board and the fans at this current situation, I can't see it getting any better. Tell me down below your thoughts on Sheffield Wednesday, and I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll see you next time.